This is a little video to show how to do the magic loop method when doing circular knitting, which is a method that was designed so that you can use longer cables to make smaller circumferences, so things like hats. You can also do it for socks, but I've never done it with socks, and I think there's specific instructions that you need to follow for socks, so it's worth looking into that. So it's quite handy if, like me, you don't have double pointed needles or you don't want to buy loads of double pointed needles as well as circular needles. So it's quite a handy method to learn. So what I've done here is I've just cast on a few stitches, 16 stitches. And what you do is you take your stitches into the middle of your cable, and then you're going to split them. Now, generally you want to split them in half, but depending on what you're doing, you might put more on to one side than the other. But for this video, I'm just going to split them in half. So you just kind of take your cable out, try not to kink it, and bring it through. Now, it's probably quite important to remember to cast on quite loosely when you're doing this, and also to just watch your tension, because the idea with this is that you have to be able to pass the needles quite easily through the stitches. So if they're too tight, that will be quite difficult. So you're just going to take both sides of stitches to either side, to either end of your needles. Okay. Now, what you're wanting to do, you're wanting to have your working yarn at the needle at the back, and you're wanting to just take it over the back of the needle. The reason that you want to do that is so that the yarn doesn't get caught up when you create the loop, but I'll show you what I mean in a second. Okay, so you've got a big loop at the end here, and you've got your stitches on these needles. Now, what is quite important to do as well is to try and keep these two sets of stitches, if you like, quite closely together, because otherwise you can end up creating a bit of a gap. So you try and keep them kind of closely together. And then you're going to take your back needle and you're going to pull it through the stitches and bring it round, as if you were just knitting normally. And so you're creating a loop. So you've got a loop at the end here, and then you've got another loop here. Okay. And you know what I just said to do, and I've just not done, was to pull your yarn over the back, right? Because otherwise, if you don't do that, then you're trying to work in, and your yarn's caught in between the loop here. So that's why you have to just put it to the back. Okay, hope that makes sense. Okay, so just trying to keep these quite closely together if you can. And I'm just going to knit these stitches, so just like you normally would. Okay, and that's the 8. So now what you're going to do is you're going to turn this needle back so it's pointing to the right again. Okay, and you're going to take your other needle and you're going to pull it through the other 8 stitches. I don't know what I've done here. I think it's all got a bit tangled up. So you're just going to pull them through like so. Okay. And this is what I was meaning about trying not make it too tight because it can be difficult. Now, you'll know that you've not finished a round, or you'll know where a round starts, because your tail will be on the tip of the back needle at the start of a round, and halfway through a round it will be on the end of the front needle, if that makes sense. So it just means that you don't always need a stitch marker when you're doing something like this. You can actually just go on the basis of where your tail is. So again, you're going to take the needle from the back and pull it round, making sure it's over the back there, and you're going to do these 8 stitches, or however many your pattern calls for. So quite often as well, what I will do is I might use a 16-inch cable to do the main body of a hat, or whatever it is that I'm using circular needles for, and just because I, just doing standard circular knitting, but I find that that's quite difficult to work the decreases, so I might sometimes then switch to a magic loop. Sometimes I just do it all magic loops. So let me just do 4, and you can do that as well. And that's it. 2, 4. So again, you turn both your needles to face the right, and that's you worked 1 round. Just going to move these forward, and I'm going to bring these to the back. Just make sure that your stitches aren't twisted. And that's how you do the magic loop method.